We welcome and thank everyone for being part of this wonderful program. This is our 10th anniversary we're celebrating, so it's so great to have everybody here and joining us. Let me first share with let me first share with you our program overview. Liftoff Houston is a City of Houston initiative supported by the Mayor Attorney's Office, which is a collaborative partnership between the Houston Public Library and the Office of Business Opportunity, sponsored by Capital One Bank. As I mentioned, we're very proud that this is our 10th year. We look forward to you joining us as we go forward to make this a capstone year. Liftoff Houston Startup Business Plan Competition is now being held virtually. In addition to being hosted virtually, the program has added an additional component for potential entrepreneurs who do not live or do business within the city limits. The educational pathway is a component that allows entrepreneurs and small businesses to earn a certificate of completion. Over the last 10 years, the Liftoff Houston Startup Business Plan Competition has helped to enrich the economic landscape for Houston through the launch of 30 new startup businesses and over $280,000 invested in those businesses. The competition has also provided hundreds of hours of invaluable education on how to start and operate a new business to more than 2,000 Houstonians since its inception. Funded by over 30,000 in cash award prizes and other incentives, the competition encompasses interactive business workshops, individualized business and financial mentoring over a 5-month period, targeting for-profit businesses in the startup phase of their businesses, who've been in operation for less than 1 year with revenues of less than $10,000 and operating their own businesses here in Houston. This year's competition will provide to have another exciting year of opportunity because we've added a specialized workshops, specialized for the especially for the entries categories and focus on business ability to pivot and sustain during the COVID-19 pandemic. Again, this year we will offer business plan coaching, opportunities for contestants to aim to increase their business plan submissions and pitch preparedness. The fan favorite will be another wonderful component again this year, offering the general public an opportunity to take part in the competition by voting for their favorite business pitch plan in the categories of product, service, and innovation. The program administrators for this year's program are Pearl Catolas. He is a Public Information Officer, External Affairs and Workforce Development Manager for the Office of Business Opportunity, Jessica Del Greco and Nelly Pina, who are the program coordinators for the Office of Business Opportunity. The goals of the winners panels are these. One of the main goals of the winners panel is to share the experience of the former Liftoff Houston winners and their journey as business owners. Because of this discussion, we are hopeful that potential entrepreneurs and current small business owners will join the Liftoff Houston program confident and ready to go through the educational process needed to become a successful business owner. Our key partners are SCORE, the Houston Library Foundation. Other notable supporters are the Small Business Administration, Lift Fund, Start Smart Company, the Crowell Company, BridgePath, Houston Community College Center for Entrepreneurship, People Fund, and the Houston Business Development Incorporated. It is a great pleasure to have everyone join us for this evening. We look forward to your participation at the end when audiences can ask questions as we go forward. This is an exciting evening and is a wonderful program that we're all involved in as we begin this process. So let me introduce our wonderful panel for this evening as we go forward, and it's great to have them join us. First, we have Shahara Dowling, who is the co-owner and founder of Speak Haas, the 2019 service category winner. Speak Haas is a company that offers on-demand leadership, communication, coaching, and training for your entire workforce. Shahara and her team are on a mission to make it easier for people in business to confidently share their voices with the world with communication, coaching that is accessible and scalable and practical for all. Crystal Harge is the owner and founder of Safety K, the 2021 product category winner. Safety K, we ensure children are prepared and protected against top harms that may encounter by empowering them with critical safety skills. Alina Kochekanova is the CEO and founder of Toner Bun, the 2021 Innovation category winner. Toner Bun is the world's first and only patented glute toning dumbbell and kettlebell, economically designed to lift and tone every part of your glutes in just 5 minutes. Got that? In just 5 minutes. So we're so glad to have all of them join us. We're going to ask them to provide us a little overview of their business and success to date. We'll let each one of them speak in turn, and then I'll have some questions for them at the end. While I'm asking them their questions at the end of their presentations, be thinking of your questions, which we will have then take those via the chat, and Jessica will assist us with that. And it's going to be a wonderful evening. So without further ado, let me turn it over to our first panelist. Shahara, would you please start us off? Shahara, are you there? All right. Let's see if Crystal.
Give her just a second. There she goes, Mr. Penny.
Unmuting. Can you hear me?
There you are. I knew I saw your picture. So there you are.
Okay, my mouth was moving. So, what's up, everybody? Good evening. I first want to give a shout out to some folks in the chat. I see Stacy, I see Tara, Terrence, William, Rob is in the house, Jimmy is in the house. Now, here's the thing. I don't know about y'all, and no shade to Teams, because I know many of us have to operate on Microsoft Teams, but I can't see anybody. I can only see people, little names or little letters. So to make sure that y'all are with me, if you are in the chat, let me get a hey, let me get a howdy, let me say something to me so I know that y'all are with me. I want to see some stuff in the chat, and if you announce yourself or say hey in the chat, I'm gonna shout you out. What's up, Sharita? What's up, Kimberly Evans? What's up? Ashley Grant is in the house. No, I know, I get it. You can stay off camera, but even if you sometimes get on camera, then Teams, I can't even see you. I just want to know that people are here. Deidre's in the house. Stacy's in the house.
I'm going to get out of the meeting.
William's in the house. Terrence is in the house. What's up, everybody? Okay, see, now I'm like, I'm not just talking to a screen. At least I know some people are here with me. Rob, I see you. Addie, I see you. Ashley, okay, good. I think I got some stuff. Chris is in the house. All right, so if you are still in the house, go ahead and keep yourself on mute too. So check that microphone button. Any feedback. Larry, I think you may need to go on mute too. You know, I think everybody needs to go on mute. There we go. All right, so now that I have acknowledged you beautiful people who are here for the Houston Liftoff pitch competition, I first want to say congratulations to each and every one of you who are present here today. It lets me know that one, you've got an idea, or two, you've turned an idea into a business, and three, you're looking to grow your business and evolve and elevate your business. And not everybody is equipped. Not everybody has the heart to do that. And then on top of that, a lot of times people don't have the courage to be able to put their ideas out there. And so I congratulate you all for having the courage, the discipline to participate in the Houston Liftoff pitch competition. And then also going through the programming so that you can gain all the extra knowledge and everything that you need in order to make sure that your business is a success. And I am going to be looking at the chat. So if you do have questions in the meantime about my experience, if you've got questions about what's it like to be an entrepreneur or whatever it may be, go ahead and put in the chat, because I got 10 minutes to talk to y'all. And because my business is about communication, I'm quite effective at it. And so I could tell you everything there is to know about my business in a short amount of time, but I want to make sure that this is engaging and that it's also beneficial to you all. So to start off, I want to also see in the chat, is there anybody in here that has a fear or gets a little anxious or maybe sweats a little underneath their arms when it's time to get out in front of people and talk? Anybody got just a little apprehension when it comes to public speaking? If you are one of those people, go ahead and be honest, be vulnerable. Panchita, she says, a bit. Stacy's like a bit. Talitha's like a little bit, maybe a little bit. Well, thank you to you all who have been. Tara says, not anymore. All right, girlfriend, not anymore. I love it. And so I first want to say thank you to everyone who shared and were vulnerable, because there are a lot of things as being a business owner that you're not going to be great at, right? But the moment that you can admit that you're not great at it, is the moment that you now have a greater opportunity to get better at it, or at least to hire somebody else who's better at it, right? But for those of you who also said, look, I'm challenged, I get a little nervous, I get a little anxiety when it's time to talk in front of people, that is probably one of the first things, or of many things, that you want to find more confidence in. Why? Because your product, your business, your service is not going to sell itself. Guess who's going to be the first salesperson? Can I get an amen in the chat? Yes, it is you. You're going to be the one that's going to have to be the mouthpiece for what you do and who you do it for. This pitch competition, when you move through this program, when you submit your business plan, when then you are then selected to pitch on stage, you're going to have to use this thing called your mouthpiece in order to pitch to the judges, to show them that you are the one that deserves the grand prize. And so I say that because just a couple of years ago, I stood in the same place that you did, that you are right now, with an idea, learning how to scale my communication coaching business. I knew that I was a service provider, but I was looking for opportunities to scale and grow my business. And so I pitched a group coaching program. And from there, the pandemic hit, and I still was able to lift off, pun intended, with my group coaching program. And I started an online group coaching program to help individuals become better speakers. And so that company has evolved, and it's currently now called Speak House. Now, I know it's the German version, but let me tell y'all, when y'all go out there trying to find company names, sometimes they're taken, and then you got to spend thousands of dollars to get it. So HOUSE was not available. And HAUS, I don't know, it's kind of funky. I kind of like it. But Speak House now has been developed to make communication coaching scalable and practical for users and business owners. And so we're working on the B2B side and extending my experience with working with organizations like Under Armour, Capital One, Alexion, Toyota, Verizon Wireless, Staff Base. The list does go on. And we're using an on-demand coaching platform to make communication coaching accessible and available for teams at scale. So not just the CEOs, not just the VPs, but the people who really make up a company, who are working with customer success, who are working with client management. Those are the people who also need great communication skills. So we are carving out a new lane to make communication coaching scalable in business to business. So that is a little bit of my pitch. I know that I've been talking for a couple of minutes. My internal timer says me that I'm getting a little close to these 10 minutes. I'm now conversations. Sharita says she feels nervous sometimes. William said partially. And so if anybody has one burning question that you have about, and I know we have a Q&A at the end, but when it comes to Speak House and public speaking and becoming an effective communicator, feel free to throw that question in the chat, and then I can share that before I close out. But as I get ready to round out my little moment to shine here, the other thing that I would say about what I've learned in being a part of the community of the Houston Liftoff Pitch Competition is the people that you meet. And I've met so many people that I'm still friends with today. And I've also met people who have been a part of Houston's efforts to grow its small business sector. And one of those people that I've met is Krista Clark, who is now my co-founder. And I'm super excited that as you grow, you're going to build a team. You're going to need people who are going to fill in the gaps where you may need to grow or where you're not the best at. And so that's what I did. And so now I have a co-founder. Her name is Krista Clark. She's thebomb.com. She's in the chat. And Sharita says, what was your prep like for your pitch day? Practice, practice, practice out loud, and in front of somebody, and in front of somebody, and in front of somebody. I repeated that many times because that's the type of repetition that you need to practice with. So you write out your script, and then I would say, don't memorize, internalize, and then practice it in front of someone new, so that when you get on that stage, it's not your first time saying it out loud and to people. Great question, Sharita. Okay, Talitha says, what is your don't know what you don't know tip that took your business to the next level? Asking tons of questions, and asking those questions to whoever you feel may have the answer. And one cool thing that my business partner has just been telling me is, and if you ask that person and they don't have the answer, ask them, well, do you know somebody who may have that answer? Do you know somebody who may know that answer? And so in that space of you don't know what you don't know, start where you feel like you're missing something and ask questions to whoever is willing to listen. So with that being said, why McCray? One more. How do you work up the courage to speak in front of other people? For your business, why McCray? I presume that you want to make some money. Why McCray? I presume that you want your business to make some money. And I presume that you want to make some money so you can pay your rent, pay your bills, and take care of your family. So if it is about taking care of your family and keeping a roof over your head, let that motivate you to develop just a little bit of courage to open up your mouth, because closed mouths do not get fed, and wallets do not get full without speaking up and talking about your business. So I'm gonna pause right there. I'm probably at my 10 minutes. Thank you to Houston Liftoff and the Houston Public Libraries for supporting me in my journey and offering this platform for me to give back and give insights. Raleigh, I saw you got a question. I'm gonna answer that in the chat. And I know that we may have some time at the end. So thank you so much. I'll pass it on to the next.
Shahara, thank you so much for this opening up and your comments and your remarks. Appreciate it. So my takeaway was courage, discipline, knowledge, and ask tons of questions. And don't be bashful about any of those. All right, we're going to move on to our next panelist, Lena, and I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself because I'm not going to try to murder your last name anymore. So welcome. So glad to have you here. She's the CEO and founder of Toner Bun, the 2021 Innovation category winner, and we're just glad to have you. How are you?
Hi, Alina here.
Great to see you.
Can you see me?
Yes, we can hear you and see you. Go right ahead.
It's a pleasure and honor to be here and to have been the winner of the innovation category. I am just so excited to be here. The takeaway from the entire competition was so much growth through the learning journey, for sure. So there are probably some people that maybe are looking to win the money, and I'm all for that, but also the learning that you will gain from the competition is going to help propel your business. So whether you win the money or not, there is a huge opportunity to help your business. So the advice I would give to people is very different from the common advice that usually comes from, most people, is actually don't listen to anybody but yourself. That's only because if you trust your intuition, a lot of amazing things will happen. And don't follow money, follow your heart. I know that sounds like kind of, like in business, we all want to, money, but the judges will feel that. So if you find like your passion and you really, really love what you do, then it's not just it's not a job that makes you money, because you could just go to corporate America and collect a paycheck and there you go, stable income and a 401k, there's your money. And that's a much, much safer way to make money and pay, your whatever expenses you have. But hopefully you started a business because you're passionate about something. So that's what I would lead with. As far as when you get up on stage in front of the judges, make sure that you are overly prepared. So whether you want to practice with like, you know, your friends, I personally did not practice in front of anybody because I didn't want their feedback. Because I trust myself enough to know what I need to remove and add. So getting comfortable with your business and learning how to trust yourself is going to be probably the most important thing, because when people feel that you believe in what you're saying, they will believe in what you're saying. So do you guys have any questions for me? Because I know I'm throwing a lot and my advice is always different from like the mainstream. So if you guys have any questions that are specific to my business or like how to win or anything, please enter it in the chat and I would be happy to share it or answer any questions.
Okay, we don't have any questions now. We'll come back at the end. I'm sure you'll be thinking of your questions for Alina. Thank you very much. My takeaway from your comments were, don't be afraid of growth. Have and learn from your learning journey. Follow your heart, which is really important. And most importantly, find your passion.
Yeah.
I think it is about passion. I've never known a small business entrepreneur not to have passion, to believe in themselves, in their product, in their success with great passion. And that passion, I think, carries you a long way. All right, next up is Crystal Hodge, owner and founder of Safety K. Crystal, welcome. Crystal, are you there? Hello. All right, Kenneth, did she check in?
I do see a Crystal H. She has to unmute herself.
All right, Crystal, could you unmute yourself, please? Unmute. All right, while we're waiting for Crystal to unmute, we'll come back to her. Let's dive into some of those questions. Are you there? Crystal?
There she is.
Hello? I see you now. Don't hear you though.
Can you hear me now?
There you are. Hello.
Great.
Welcome.
Good,
Welcome.
everyone. Welcome.
Yes, you're on. Go right ahead.
Thank you. I'm Crystal Hodge. I'm the founder of Safety K LLC. My company promotes safety awareness to young children. I teach children how to be safe, but also have fun at the same time. Thank you, Liftoff, for having me tonight. The reason why I started the competition and what I really want to explain tonight is that my business started, I became an LLC in April of 2021. So I'm a new startup in a new business. And Liftoff Houston was the perfect opportunity for me to learn because I had no background experience in being an entrepreneur. I don't come from a family of entrepreneurs. So coming along to a program like Liftoff um, has been a great opportunity for me to learn a lot of new things and help me to build a business plan to make me successful on my career journey. Um, with Liftoff, you gain so much based on my experience. I was able to meet Elena here that was just speaking, and she's been great and even offering me like help with stuff and resources and advice. So she's been a great connection. And I'm not even sure if she here remembers me, but one of the breakout rooms we had in a liftoff competition, she was speaking to us about pitching. And for me, I'm an introvert. Public speaking is not my thing. I do it when I have to do it. But, you know, she offers some great advice about practicing, get in front of your friends, your family, your coworkers, anyone, and just practice, practice, practice. Know your information. And so for me, before becoming an LLC, I would say I was trying to get into having my own business for about a year. I do have a background in working in corporate, and you think because I know a lot. I've been a safety professional for about 8 years, but having your own business is so different. It's so different. Um, and it has its challenges, but it has a lot of great opportunities from the program. I would say I would say everyone being here tonight is a great step. It just shows how serious you are about, having a successful business with the program. I was able to learn so much about finances and marketing and networking and identifying my target customer, my target market. There were so many things that I did not know. So when that person has asked that question about what you don't know can hurt you, it's very true, because I realized if it wasn't for programs like Liftoff, there's a lot of stuff I would not have known. So that's why it's so important to take resources that Liftoff is offering or other programs and really use it to your advantage. Always maximize your opportunity. Also, what I want to share, things I've learned along the way, is to be patient with yourself. Don't expect things to just happen overnight. Even for me, being kind of a new business, it's some stuff that I'm like, oh, I just wish that, things would just happen faster. But you just have to be patient, be realistic where you are today. And it's okay. It's a learning process. Be consistent. And also, as you being a representation of your brand, just remember that anywhere you go, even when I'm out now, people will say, hey, Safety K, hey, Safety K. And it's so funny, I've kind of picked up that nickname. And so, yeah, just put your best foot forward. I would say, like Elena has stressed, like the money is good, but the business plan that you're going to get, that you're going to develop from Liftoff, the knowledge, the connections, the mentorship, that stuff goes out more further, than the money. So I say it's a win-win no matter what happens at the end of the program. Thank you.
Chris, I want to thank you very much for that wonderful presentation, as all three of you have been. Before we get back to the questions in the chat and give individuals a chance to put their questions in the chat, let me ask a question of each one of you to kind of start us off. And Crystal mentioned it. How have mentors and champions and advocates helped you along the way? Because none of us gets here alone. None of us gets here alone. We all have had mentors and champions and advocates who helped us, that push us, that we learn from their wisdom and their experience. So how has mentorship helped you along the way thus far in your journey? Anyone who wants to start?
Yeah, I'll kick it off. And hey, Crystal, you got to remind me of where we were when we were talking, but I'm so glad to meet you again, and congrats. But I would say, back to that question of you don't know what you don't know. In any space, open yourself up for the advice and for the insights of those advisors and those mentors. They are a wealth of information, and so they can help sharpen you in areas and illuminate to you what your blind spots are. You can say to them, I know I got some blind spots based off of what you understand about my business, based off of what you've seen for me. What do you feel like I'm missing? What is a red flag that I think is a green flag, but I should be paying more attention to? Allowing them to illuminate your blind spots is a great way to leverage the mentor and advisor relationships that you come across.
Great advice. Anyone else?
Can I add to that?
Please do.
Okay, so everyone has a different viewpoint on like what they can gain from their mentors, but your mentors, from my opinion, won't know you as well as you know yourself, because they have like just a few interactions with you. So I wouldn't necessarily listen to their feedback as much as I would listen to your own self, because you should know your own weakness by this point. And there's the internet, so you could easily just like Google things that you need to brush up on. So if you know that you're bad at like numbers and finances, then I strongly recommend you looking for someone that can, educate you a little bit more on that. There's tons of like free learning courses. I hired an accountant just to help me with the numbers. So I definitely recommend for the mentors to ask them for connections, because that is the greatest thing that I gained from my mentors is who do they know that can help propel your business, and just talking to them about like the industry that you're in and seeing if they know anyone in that network that can help you, whether it's like marketing or even just like, for me it was someone that had like another business that's similar to mine and we could collaborate, which was huge. So I definitely recommend you networking with your mentor's network. So they have a huge pool of people. So don't be shy and go ahead and say, who do you know? I mean, obviously not right away, just kind of like build up the relationship so they can like feel like they could trust you first, right? They don't want to just like throw a bunch of contacts. They want to feel like you're, you know, someone they could probably connect you to if you you know, if they see value in that connection, right? So show them that there is.
And also, oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Crystal. No, go ahead, please.
Oh, I just wanted to add, like, along your journey, you will have official and unofficial mentors. Also, make sure that you know, it's always for me, especially like I said, being a new entrepreneur is important for me to find mentors that had different expertise in a different background. So I may have a mentor that is very strong in finances, or one who's great with marketing, or one that's great with connections or getting me in front of the right people. So kind of use that to your advantage too, because everyone has a strength. So play off of that.
All three of you, great, wonderful advice. Let me just add one comment. And when Elena said trust, in the world of networking and connections, it really is all about trust. It's about the relationships you establish based on mutual trust and respect, because nothing happens without trust. It is just that simple. It always has been, it always will be. No one does anything for another human being that they do not trust. And so it is important to develop and establish those relationships based on mutual trust and respect. Okay, it's time to go now into the chat room and look at all the questions we may have. So Jessica is going to help us with that, and we'll just kind of take them in order that they were posted. Let's see what we have here.
We have quite a bit, so I'm going to scroll all the way up, and we're going to see which ones look like they haven't been answered yet. Okay, so we'll go ahead and start here. And whoever wants to answer it, just go ahead and go in. What issues did you face with your business plan, if any? And I think this is a really good question, because you might write your business plan and then look at it and be like, this isn't going to work. So what issues did any of you face with it, and how did you get through that?
I'll go.
All right.
I figured we could just go in the order maybe that we presented. I don't know.
All right. Whatever.
Yeah.
You know, I think that the major issue, because when we were given the format, so that was really helpful for me. It was more so like a plug and chug. Take what I know in here and put it in the right space. If I don't know, it's time to go do the research. And the Houston Public Libraries, they had access to all of these different search engines that I didn't even know they had. So I was able to find a lot of statistics and things like that. But overall, I was still always very insecure as to whether or not I was hitting the right points, or whether or not my research was thorough enough, or whether or not the writing was storytelling enough or concise enough. So I actually went out, and as Alina said, I hired some people to take a look at my business plan. Deidre Mathis, who was a Houston Liftoff winner from a couple of years ago, she started kind of supporting people in that space. And I hired her to look at mine, and another lady that was really good at, who was winning pitch competitions. So where I was insecure about things, I would then find people who weren't insecure to review what it is that I had already created. And I think that gave me added perspective on what I was doing right and the opportunities that I had to grow.
Thank you. Elena? Anyone else wants to add to Shahara's comments?
I agree with having a mentor or someone else to look at your business plan. And there are going to be times where you have to update your business plan. I know for me, you know, learning, I think when I had some mentors that had like a background in finance, they were financial advisors. I wasn't being too realistic with my financials or my financial projections. So I had to go back and make updates and just be realistic to the current market and where I was. So it's not uncommon that you'll have to update your business plan or improve it. That's pretty common.
All right. Back to Jessica.
All right. So what were your key marketing strategies that compelled your business and impacted your clients? Tell us your secrets. The marketing secrets.
I'll tell you all the secrets for e-commerce.
All right, go right ahead.
Well, as you know, when you're first starting a business, there's not like a blueprint for like every business because every business is so unique. So you have to throw money at like a bunch of stuff and you're like, wait, that didn't work. I just wasted a bunch of time and money, right? So it's a testing phase. So you have to be prepared to burn some money. And that's kind of like inevitable because I could throw advice at you and you could take it, but it may not necessarily work for you. So you have to regardless, like test things out. So if you have an e-commerce business and you have a product, here's the formula. Amazon, only Amazon and Amazon ads. Forget everything else. Focus on the Amazon, bunch of reviews, and scale your Amazon, like learn Amazon ads. And then like you could throw some pictures on, you know, Pinterest and Instagram, but focus on Amazon. That's e-commerce. I don't know anything about service business or like a physical location. But if you're an e-commerce business with a physical product, I'm all like here to help in any way I can.
All right, thank you for that advice. Whom else? Anyone else on that question?
I will say, you know, you don't know until you actually land on something that works. You kind of have to use your intuition, think about where your audience members are. So for me in business to business, my decision makers are typically VPs and CEOs or high level directors at enterprises. So I have to show up and be where they are. So my form of marketing is to host, is to moderate, is to facilitate in this early part of my business. It can't always be that, but event marketing and showing up at those events and being positioned as the thought leader in the space of business communication, that's a form of our marketing channel. And then that's the one that we're leaning into right now until we generate enough revenue in order to develop a different marketing channel. And maybe that marketing channel will be email. So now these events that we go to, we compile a list and we engage those decision makers through email. So I would say find one that works for you where you are right now and allow that marketing channel to be the one that actually is the bridge from where you are to where your customers are. So if they're on LinkedIn, then your marketing channel should be LinkedIn. If they're at conferences or if you're going to find them at trade shows, then you go be at those trade shows.
All right, thank you both for that information. Jessica?
Okay, so this next question, I really love this next question because as the end that edits this business plan template, and I look at this business plan template, it is intimidating. It's long. I wouldn't want to do it, but I also don't have anything I'm passionate about. So, you know, that could be why. So somebody asked that when you look at the business plan, it's really intimidating. So when did you start on that plan? And I also want to add on to that is how did you all get over that hurdle? You know, sometimes there's something you really have to do and you don't want to do it. How did you push yourself to get the motivation to start that business plan and to complete that business plan?
All right. Who wants to start us off?
So I'll answer when you said, I think it's because I feel the same way about certain things. If there's something you don't want to do, well, someone told me when you write out things that you have to do, the thing you don't want to do the most, you either have to pay someone to do it or you need to put that at the top of your list and get that done with the fastest. So just dig right into it. For me, doing a business plan, I started working on one right before the pitch competition, but once I got into Liftoff, I had to pretty much reconstruct it from scratch and just really when they have you know the components or the contents that are due, just keeping up with the classes and really getting help from my mentors on each section that needed to be done. I didn't have the background or the expertise, but they have mentorship and resources out there that will help you along the way. But go ahead and dig into it. I mean, you have to do it anyway, and it's very important. So that's my advice.
Thank you. Who else?
I'll throw in something. Okay, so I don't know if all of you or is it just me, but there's like two people that are living inside me. There's like the boss me that's like, I gotta do this. And then there's like the kid me that's like, I wanna play, I wanna watch Netflix and relax and go have fun. Right. And I feel like there's this constant battle between like, I really need to get this done so my business can grow. And then there's this, I really am tired, I'll do it later. And the constant like procrastination. What you don't want to do is wait like at the very last minute because you're going to feel stressed, overwhelmed. So I think you just set a little habit and break it down, like the big elephant into small pieces. So what I did was just dedicate like 1 hour every weekend. And it was as simple as like, okay, Alina, when you do this 1 hour, we're going to treat you to like a little shopping spree or whatever reward you want to give yourself. Like just convince yourself like to just commit to that 1 hour. For me, it was like, after I do this 1 hour, I'm going to go to yoga and just relax. And the thought of me getting it done every weekend sometimes I ended up working on it for like 3 hours, right? I think it's like you said, getting into if an hour sounds too intimidating, just set 10 minutes. Like it doesn't have to be that of an intense time. Like sometimes we scare ourselves into just starting if it's like too overwhelming, right? Just say, okay, 10, 30 minutes, whatever, and commit to it every single weekend. And then by the time the end of the competition, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
I love the conflict of the inner soul of the two parts of yourself. All right, anyone else on this question before we move back to Jessica?
One quick thing, I think that the major thing that if your discipline is a muscle, and if you haven't built that muscle, it's time to start exercising it. And it's really about making a commitment to yourself and not lying to yourself. Don't honor your word. If you say you're going to do something, then do it. And that's how you build that muscle of discipline, because discipline is what's going to show up for you when you don't feel like doing something. And it's okay if you say you're going to do it and then you don't do it. Extend grace, but get back on the saddle and say, I'm going to stop lying to myself and I'm going to start honoring my word. If I say I'm going to do it, let me do it. And it's a practice. So if you don't do well one day, try to do better the next day. And soon you'll find that muscle grows stronger, and it's called discipline.
Very good advice. Honoring your word to yourself is important, because when you deal with networks and connections and the relationships I talked about of mutual trust and respect, honoring your word to the other person begins with honoring your word to yourself. And so I think it's very important to remember that as we go forward. Good advice. All right. Jessica, what else we have?
So we have a question for Crystal. So for those people who are introverts, what's going to help them get out and promote their business when they don't feel like doing it?
Yeah, so for me, I think if you're an introvert, it's kind of like you practice, right? So the more that you put yourself out there, you have this elevator pitch, which you'll learn about, and you're kind of promoting your business. And the more you do it, you become more comfortable and more confident. And for your business, it's kind of like you have to do it. You don't work for a company where you have like, unless you already have a team, you have this big team and everybody can help here or there. You actually have to be the one to drive your business to get the message out there and get your brand out there. So again, it's all about practice. Once you start putting yourself out there in front of those businesses or those people or your customers, you're just going to gain confidence and it gets easier. So.
Good advice. Who else? Anybody else on that point? If not, we'll go back to Jessica.
Great. Now, can you really start a business with just an idea?
Okay.
Yes, you can.
Jump in. Go right ahead.
You absolutely can. I didn't go to business school. I don't know anything about running a business. I just dove in. Yes, 100%. Simple.
Simple.
Internet, you just Google it and then figure it out, right? Like, okay.
I would say all businesses started with just an idea, Either that or a problem or an issue, like F this, I'm tired of this, I'm about to make it. Or I'm so tired of seeing that this ain't working, I'm about to make something that works. I got an idea about how this could be better, so I'm gonna make this because I'm tired of dealing with that, right? So most businesses have all started from an idea, or a problem, right? Or a need. So if you got an idea, run with it and allow that idea to just evolve, allow it to grow, allow it to mature, and keep working on it.
Good point. Anybody else on that point? All right, Miss Jessica.
All right, so I want y'all to brag about yourself for a minute, and I would like to see all three of our winners speak on this. So what do you think gave you your edge to win?
The killer instinct, the edge to win.
Well, I'll go. Mine is I pitched public speaking and communication. I am an expert, ultimate communicator and public speaker. The proof is in the pudding. So for me, it's something that I said, it is a God-given talent of mine. But as a professional, I was intentional about transitioning my talent into a skill. And when I transitioned all of my talent into a skill, that's when I started coaching. That's when I started training. That's when I started teaching. So at the core of what God has given me, I've been able to build a business off of it, but I've had to build so many other skills in order to get where I am today. And the funny thing about it, somebody asked about the business plan and how did we overcome? I swear, and I kid you not, when my business plan was selected, because your business plan has to get selected before you pitch on stage. And so I was pretty confident about the pitching on stage part because that's just what I do. But my business plan getting selected, I wasn't that confident. And so when my business plan was selected, it validated my intellect in a way that never had been before. It made me feel smart. It made me feel like I really could, build a business. So I would say that my edge was definitely my personality, and being an expert at my craft, because before the pitch competition, I was already operating in this space. But I also found that my intellect is something that I discovered through doing that business plan. It made me feel smart. So I feel like I had to have some type of smart edge to get past all of the other applicants. So
good advice. Anyone else on that point?
Okay, I'll go.
Y'all got to
Go ahead.
So for me, I'm gonna say I think passion was big for me because I won the product category portion of the competition. I also was the only one in my category that didn't have a physical product, so I pitched an idea. But I had a good strategic plan, and my background and my expertise, working in safety in corporate for years, I was able to show I was the person for the job and really sell a solution to a problem, which is teaching kids safety to decrease accident fatality rates for kids in the US and then beyond. And so I think your passion has to show, and also you have to have a good business plan and show them how you are going to solve a problem and be realistic with your finances, with your marketing, with everything.
Thank you, Kristen. All right, anyone else on that point? Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Is this being recorded live? Okay, I guess I could share this. I just told myself I'm gonna win. When I entered this competition, I was like, I'm gonna win. I have no doubt in my mind I'm gonna win. And that, like, the belief that I'm gonna win, and it just propelled me. I'm like, okay, what do the judges need for a winner? What does a winner look like? So I watched a bunch of videos of what the winners look like, how they dressed, how they talked, how they behaved. I'm like, okay, I should just be like that. Boom, done. And then you just become that. I think we can create whoever we are. And I think setting yourself up for that and feeling like a winner, I believe will get you to I don't know. I think it worked for me. I mean, it keeps working, so I'm gonna keep doing it, believing that I'm gonna win.
If you believe it, the self-fulfilling prophecy comes through most of the time. By the way, your mother told me you were going to win that night.
Yeah, she's kind of a psychic.
She did. She told me. She told me. So it was interesting. All right, back to Jessica.
Okay, so this is, I'm not sure if this will apply to any of you. If it does, feel free to answer it. It says, can you describe how you built trust or repaired business relationships after misunderstandings or conflict or unintended consequences?
Whoa, okay.
I would say that the biggest part about repairing trust or dealing with conflict is rooted in vulnerability. It's about admitting where you lost the communication or where you misstepped in the communication. It's just about, it's really about being human, right? And if you can allow yourself to be human, whether you're in the right or whether you're in the wrong, or you feel like you're in the right, or whether you're trying to defend yourself from being in the wrong, I think surrendering yourself to just saying, hey, there's something that happened that's causing some mistrust. Are you willing to have an open conversation about it? Because if so, I certainly am. So vulnerability, I always say, is the direct route to connection. So don't take the detour. And when dealing in spaces of conflict or misunderstandings, remind yourself to just be vulnerable and then invite whoever you're having that conversation with into the space of vulnerability with you. And if they're willing, then I think through that conflict, you can have a conversation and perhaps find some clarity.
Very good advice. Whom else? Anyone on that topic? All right, Jessica, we're back to you.
Great. How can you measure your opportunity cost or conduct a cost benefit analysis? For example, what % can or should you dedicate to outsourcing or hiring a professional if your business is just starting out? And then how does this competition level the playing field so it's not David versus Goliath?
Really quickly, I've seen a lot of competitors, people win pitch competitions when it didn't even seem like they had the best deck, or it didn't even seem like like a graphic designer. To Crystal and to Alina's point, the passion that comes through, the positive affirmations, and ultimate belief in what you're doing and who you're doing it for. I think that translates as well. But also through the Houston Liftoff pitch competition, you also are exposed to the community. And so there are a lot of people in the community where you can say, hey, I saw your deck, could you share with me? Or would you mind sitting with me to show me what, moves you got in Canva so that maybe I can, polish my deck more. So the community within itself, if you reach out for the contacts and you do the networking and build some relationships with people, I think that within itself helps level that playing field, especially if you don't have the finances. Trust me, I understand that. If you don't have the finances to always invest in someone to refine or, do your deck or anything like that.
All right.
Agreed. And I would say that, again, with me being a new business, I didn't have the finances, but what you do have is access to resources. Like in Liftoff, you have the mentor. And so I was able to, reach out to the mentors and have people look at my pitch decks and practice with them. And if I needed help on my business plan, because I used the resources at hand and they were all free resources. So that's why when everyone gets in front of the judges, it's actually an even playing field if you, use the resources that are out there.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else on that point? Jessica?
So we're through the questions in the chat. So I'm going to start going through a couple that I thought would be really great for us to discuss. So I know we have some people in here who are going to be doing the educational pathway, and something we talk about a lot is how the HCC business competition is a prerequisite. The Liftoff Houston is a prerequisite for the HCC business plan competition. And throughout orientation, we've mentioned that quite a bit, and we've mentioned how we did have one of our previous winners win the HCC business plan competition. And I know, Crystal, you also participated in it. Shahar, did you ever participate in it?
Yeah, right when the COVID hit and we had to switch in the middle of the program, so we went from in person to virtual, but it was a good time.
Oh, that's awesome. So if any of you were a finalist or a winner, if you'd want to talk to the participants or even just about any doors that Liftoff has opened for you. Alina, I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
Okay, like seriously, I needed exactly 22,000 to buy this new batch of inventory, and I just like I believe in God, and not trying to get all religious, but the belief I had in like when there's a will, there's a way. So after the liftoff, I was like, I need 12 more K. What's the next step? And coincidentally, the HCC business plan competition was exactly the amount I needed, and that money is now off to my manufacturer. The units are on their way, and my customers are going to be so happy. So again, it's like the combination of a lot of things lining up. I felt like it was like grace, God's grace, really, because I needed the money, I needed the education, and the combination of like this liftoff winnings propelled me and prepared me to really sharpen my skills to take it to the next level, because HCC was also really challenging, like in its own way. I mean, liftoff was hard, but like hard in a really, really great way. Like it changes you and for the better you. Like you evolve as a human because your business is growing, but then you're growing with your business. So it's this like dynamic of you grow. Anyway, it's amazing. So yes, I won the HCC business plan competition, which I was very honored. Thanks to Liftoff and everything I learned. So grateful for everyone that was part of Liftoff. Just an amazing group of people. I'm just so grateful to everyone. So I'm excited. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Okay, Jessica, anything else?
So we'll do one more, because I think confidence is something that's really tough for some people when it comes to going out and doing something on your own. So at any point during the competition or during your business, when you were launching it, did you think to yourself, I'm throwing in the towel, I'm done, I don't want to do it anymore? It's too much work, it's too much stress. How did you get over that hurdle if that's what you were faced with?
Every day I want to throw in the towel. I'm not going to lie, it's hard. After I come home, I have to carry like hundreds of pounds to UPS. And I'm like, my back hurts, I'm tired. I don't want to do this anymore. But then when I think of corporate America, that's scarier for me. I'm like, no, I'm good. No, I'll keep what I have. Like sometimes like you think about giving up, but then when you actually like are even thinking about it, you're like, no. If you love what you do, even the hard times won't be as bad as like, you know, if you're working for someone else and you're not passionate about what you do and those challenges arise, it's like this feeling that you can't, like your life is being wasted because you only get one life, right? Eventually we're all going to die. I mean, not to get like cynical here or anything, but we might as well live it to the fullest, right? Do what you love. That's what keeps me going is, you know, the fact that we get one life.
All right. Anyone else on that point?
Yeah, just remember your why. Because I mean, there are challenges. Whether you're a new company, a seasoned company, it's not easy. Building something on your own, you know, in comparison, like Alina said, to corporate, that there's already system and processes in place. When you have your own company, it's just very different. So just remember your why, and hopefully that will keep you going enough.
All right.
Oh, can I throw something? Sorry.
Go.
I just read a question. Is it cool if I just answer it? Because I feel like it's really important everybody understands the reality of what happens with these winners and entrepreneurs. Not everybody has like a single like living, someone asked if they have like to raise a family, attend school while working through the competition. How did you manage your 24 hours? Well, I don't want to go into the details, but let me just say, while I was in the competition, I was taking care of my 12-year-old son, my 87-year-old grandmother, my mom's 4 cats, while working full-time on another job, while running another business and starting this one, and I made it happen. I'm telling you, if you believe in it, you will find the time. You will find a way to make it happen. You won't make any excuses. You'll just make it happen. That's my advice, is you'll just do it. It'll just happen. I mean,
Right.
you'll be exhausted. Don't get me wrong. You're going to be
Nope.
like,
No
but-
excuses.
no,
All right. Anyone else on that point?
Yeah, I would say that in the space of ambition and in the space of the passion and getting yourself hyped, that's a great way to float. But me personally, it comes down to the day, and you realize you didn't get anything done that day because you had all these other things to do. And that's the reality that sometimes we're faced with that make it difficult to kind of keep going. But what I did for myself is always dedicate time on the calendar. At least carve out that time, because if you don't set it in stone, then another thing will come up and another thing will come up and another thing will come up. It's almost like if anybody out here is on a fitness journey, and if you don't work out, if you don't carve out that time, or if you don't do it at the beginning of your day, then you'll find that one day goes by and you haven't worked on the business. Another day goes by and you haven't worked on the business. So set a time. And this is just, again, a practice. You got to do everything that Alina was mentioning. But if you need something to practice and ground yourself in that, put some time on the calendar. Even if it's just 2 hours on a Sunday, even if you have to drink that extra cup of coffee so you can stay up later an extra 90 minutes to accomplish something or to plan out your day, putting it on the calendar. When they say when you write things down, the likelihood of them happening is greater. So use your calendar, write it down, honor your word, and discipline yourself, especially when it comes time to do it and you don't feel like doing it.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you for that
Can I-
advice.
Can I add one more thing
Please,
before I think
please.
we're ending? So one thing I wanted to because I remember someone told me this, and this is very true. As you can see, we all have passion, right? But passion is great. It's not enough to run a business and to be successful, or anybody who ever had a passion or idea would have a business, right? So the important thing from Liftoff Houston and business competitions is that it helps you with a plan, right? To have a business plan, a strategic plan to make your business successful. So that's very important on in helping you in your journey, is actually having a plan, being disciplined, and hopefully, having a successful business. But passion is important too, but also plan. Passion
All
just
right.
isn't enough, is my point.
Jessica, any closing thoughts or comments?
Nope, we got all the questions answered, and I think it's been really, really great. It seems like everybody in the chat agrees. Everyone loves you all.
Wonderful.
You have been great. You have been great speakers. We love the enthusiasm. And we do have a quick announcement, just so everyone in here can hear. If we want to go to maybe the next slide, Pearl. So we had a lot of interest in one more orientation. So if anybody in here did not make it to any of the previous 3 orientations, this is your last chance. I know we have some people in here who had emailed me that they weren't able to get into one of the orientations. We very last minute added this right before we came on here. So please, if you had not had the opportunity to attend orientation, be sure to attend this final one. And I want to personally thank all of our speakers. I know I've only met Shahara in person, but I did see Crystal and Elena very briefly at the HCC Business Plan Competition. I didn't get a chance to introduce myself, but I did see the both of you there. So it's really great that you were able to be here today. We really appreciate it. You provided really awesome insight to everybody who's going to be competing. And we are very excited to see all of these businesses that are going to be proposed to us this year.
All
And
right.
if all of you could please put your information in the chat so people can look you up, so they can look up your products.
All right. Thank you for that. Okay, to our great panelists, any closing comments, thoughts, observations, words of wisdom that you haven't shared that you want to make sure you get out before we end this wonderful discussion this evening? Anyone, anything? If not, let me thank all three of you, Shahara, Alina, and Crystal. For me personally, it's great to see all of you again. I remember you from the contest and from the pictures. It is great to see everybody again. This is a wonderful evening. It's a great program. It's our 10th year anniversary and celebration. We're so proud of that. Let me thank all our sponsors and presenters and attendees for your participation. Let me invite you to always, the audience, to apply at www.liftoffhouston.com, www.liftoffhouston.com. And the deadline is August 19th at 2 p.m. August 19th at 2 p.m. So get it in, get it done, and make it happen. And in closing, just this comment and thought, because this is kind of how I've lived my life, all the things that I've done in my career. There are 5 things every day that are non-negotiable and not optional. Proper nutrition, proper physical activity, attention to your mental health, spirituality, and laughter. Those 5 things every day in equal doses, in equal parts, will make sure that you're ready, able, and capable to serve other human beings. In other words, you have to be a little selfish. You got to be selfish only in one regard. You have to take care of yourself so you can be selfless in your service to other human beings, because that's really what it's all about. Whatever you're doing, whether it's a product, a program, a service category, innovation, it's all about geared towards something you're doing to help in service to the other. It is always other-centric. That's why we do what we do. That's why we have businesses, to serve others. So it's very important to keep that in front of us. Did I hear somebody want to say something? Did I hear a comment? No? Okay. We're going to have to get out.
We do
Yes.
have William. He has a hand up. William, would you like to speak?
William?
Please, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Quickly, William. Go right ahead.
Sorry, but the chat's been unavailable for me, so I haven't been able to ask you guys any questions. I'm not sure why I can't leave a message anywhere. But I just wanted to say thank you guys for your time. I reached out to some of you guys on LinkedIn because I do have questions I want to ask. I know we don't have time anymore tonight. Again, thank you. Wish you guys the best of luck in your endeavors. And thank you guys for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, William, for coming on, and make sure everybody stays in contact with everybody. I think everybody will have each other's contact information so we can do that. Again, a great, wonderful evening. Just let me remind you one more time to please apply, www.liftoffhouston.com. The deadline is August 19th at 2 p.m. Thank you for being part of this wonderful, wonderful 2022 Liftoff Winter Panels program. We look forward to you being part of the Liftoff program as we go forward. And again, to everybody, until then, always, peace, power, be safe, and be well. We'll see you next time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody.